So here comes the security architectures and operations third domain, from where we'll be learning what is there are some concepts also, strategies and resilience. Okay. Actually, the security architecture, as we have discussed, it is based on hierarchy as well as it depends on CIA, confidentiality, integrity, and availability. And we do also have traditional architecture where everything is stored within an organization, and there are some which are cloud based also. Okay. Then secondly, some organizations are using cloud, so they where they are deploying their tools, softwares, and all. And some do have traditional and uh, this cloud base. Okay. As in these certifications, what happens? You will be getting an 360 view where you will be studying concepts of like like what all you will be doing in security operations. Okay. And what is network. Okay. And what is security, what are like abilities. Okay. What are So as you cover all these things, right, then you will be getting a 360 view. That's the reason we do have security architecture in this syllabus. So next, we do have data types. Data types in the sense like how we do store data comprehensively, and how do we encrypt data in organizations. Okay. So their understanding data types helps organizations to classify and protect information appropriately. This means like there will be many secured or confidential documents and legal obligations and business values, where each and every thing should be adjusted based on the security they want, right? So we do have regulated data like and we do have intellectual properties, trade secrets, regulated data in the sense data governed by the laws or compliances, where here in regulated data there will be organizations like we can hospitals in this sense, because we can take an example of hospital where every common people may attend. So where if they go there, they will be what they'll be doing, they'll be giving some information for registration purposes. So okay, as a person enter, they'll be asking they may ask his phone number, they may ask his email ID, they also will take his previous health records. Okay. So, in order to maintain these data, and this will come under regulated data. Okay, this information comes under regulated data, where we do have organizations where mm, ISO, it possesses some standard compliances where they all should go through its checklist or benchmark to get certified from Indian standard international standardization organizations. Okay, where they do have many rules so that every person's data should be protected. And there are some what we call private public public data should be very private, so that no hacker should get into their systems and they can access the data for the public use. Because as a hospital, as an organization, they'll be having many critical data, kind of like what is the person, what health requirements, or what, from which diseases the person is going through. Okay. As well as we do also where HIPAA comes into place. Okay. And credit card data, PCI DSS, and personal data, GDPR. These all are the regulations and standardizations. We do also have another GLBA, which refers what we call financial data. Okay. And here GDPR, it comes under European personal data law. Okay. Because of these standardizations and regulations only, our data is very secured with organizations. Okay. Trade secrets, in the sense, if there is any secret formula for any organizations, it should be prevented and should be secured. So we can have an example of here. So what is the concept means, like business secrets providing comprehensive advantages that must be visualized, guarded. So where see here KFC chicken recipe is there, where it is a secret recipe that they should only the authorized person should be having. Coca-Cola formula and proprietarian. There are many things, like many manufacturers also do have their patented or their own secret formula. So that data comes under trade secrets. Okay. Intellectual property means creations product protected by copyrights. So whenever we do have an organizations, we do have copyright for that, so that no one can use that data for their business purpose or to get profit from that. So as a CCP, we do have this our document should be only used by our students. uh, that is where copyright will come into picture. So if you are using any someone else documentation and we are using that for our business purpose, so it will be illegal and it won't follow the laws which are required to be ISO certified. Okay. And we do have an example of source code, product design, brand asset, research and findings. So whenever we do have any secure data, we do have different, based on the data we how to store that data. Like there are many regulations, like how to store the data, how it is transmitted, in the sense like how it is shared from one location or one person to another person, and how it is protected, how incidents are reported, in the sense like if do we have any alert, how we respond to that. Okay. Like legal information, like documents used for legal process requirement, confidentiality and integrity is preserved. Example, contracts, agreements, litigation materials. Basically these legal information comes under law firms. Okay. And financial information, where e-commerce or all fintech companies will come into picture. Okay. Like bank and monetary records are critical for the operational. and audit requirement. For example, payroll data, account numbers, transaction histories, financial statements, financial statements also. Human readable data like PDF, document, and one second. PDF, documents, spreadsheets, where these all form of documents also possess data which is easy to read. Okay, non-human readable data in the sense like machine code, binary code, encrypted, where these things also should be kept safe, because as encrypted data, now there are algorithms where they encrypt the data, and nowadays we don't have that capable computers which can decrypt those data. But as big organizations like Google, Microsoft are working for quantum computers, right? So these kind of computers are very, they can decrypt each and everything. So where we can take an example, we'll go deep into this afterwards, because this quantum computers is very opposing to cyber security, where every algorithm which is there right now can decrypt each and every encrypted, which, as we are using many algorithms for encryption at back end level, so it will decrypt each and everything. If that get into bad people's hand, it will be very suffering for us. Data classification also, like why it matters actually, because data classification will allow an organization so that it can keep its data for business purposes only. So there could be some critical data, important data. There will be categories of data where data need to be classified and need to be kept in respective, and should have respective privileges as well as policies, so that it should be only accessible for the people who need them actually. Okay, then there could be common language across organizations. So in organizations generally, if there is any company like Google, or there would be some companies, they'll also won't reveal the name. Okay, instead of Google, they may keep some name as Cola or something. So they'll refer these identity with different, so that it people and the organization working employees should not have the idea like for which company, for which organizations this data has been created or been separated over, on which incidents they are working also. Okay, sensitive, confidentiality, public and restricted data, private data, critical data. So sensitive in the sense like where we need to be handling it very with care, and as well as individual or organizations should not be exploited with these sensitive data. Confidentiality in the sense where the data is only limited for some limited people, like if there is a person CEO, he should have visibility to whole company. Like he, if as if there is a junior employee or senior mid-level manager employee, then what will happen? He'll have only some visibility based on the positions, also based on the data. They'll segregate them and they'll give access to those people only who need the data, who need that information. Public can open and share, no confidentiality. Um, like if we go on Google, we can access some readable materials or readable references, which is available for all. Like we can use chat gpt, right? It is available and it is open. We do have also data sources like malicious data sources from where abuse ipdb db, from where we'll get malicious hashes, right? It is for public, where those ipdb and abuse ipdb organizations gave for everyone free of cost. Restricted, critical and only accessible specified roles or higher level of protection required. And private, typically personal data requires privacy, like your gmail is there or your outlook is there, it should be accessible for you only, right? No other person should access or should read those emails from your on your account. So that comes under private. The like it could be your payroll which is given by hr to you. Critical are essential for core operations, loss or unavailable impacts, and it can come into what we call, if there is an financial document or number of days of employee working or what all we did for an organization, if those all data has been deleted, so there will be a business impact, right? And here comes data classification in practice and theory, where our real-time data meets real-time world. Okay, so here we do classify as sensitive. Based on these classification only, we'll take the alerts or incidents in picture. Okay, confidential, public, restricted, private, critical. Okay, see, let's get uh, expose may cause embarrassment or minor damage. Sensitive, like employee address list, internal phone directory, or organization's chart. So, for example, let's take this. So, if employee address list has been leaked, okay, what would have happened? 1 second. So, let me share another screen now. Okay, let it be. I'll write here only. Okay. See, where if there is a minor damage or minor minor information alert, you have got an alert where or you have gathered an information where the company X company, okay, employee data has been leaked. Data in the sense is address. What could have happened? So if it is available for public, then a person, a normal person or a hacker can misuse that data, right? If an employee himself, another employee himself can misuse that data, he can go to his room, he can stab him. Based on the grudges they have, they can do anything. Or if the internal phone directory, in the sense like we can also refer it to emails or domains. Like what if some domains which are very critical to an organization got leaked, like from outside also someone can ping them, right? They can email them, they can text them over phone. Organization chart, in the sense like workflow or the management structure, if it got leaked, it comes under sensitive. Okay, and confidential, access only to authorized rules, like research and development documents, strategies and plans, merger discussions where organizations plans and executions and what all they do, what all the research they are doing, on what all software they are working, how they are doing all these things comes under confidential. Public, like where companies do have newsletters for awareness, right? It comes under public, like marketplace, brochures, press release, or published reports and all. Restricted, like strong access controls, like MFA or very secured environmental will be there, like government defense data, execution of compensation, audit findings, in the like what all the changes have been implemented in an organization. So these all comes under, based on the information we do categorize them into to the level of severity here. This classification is nothing but level of severity. Based on that, how we need to apply the policies, like who all can access, who all can do what all things. Critical, essential for business operations, like private, like person to person, like if you are an employee, you do have your employee payroll account, and you do have your projects, you do have your appraisals, you do have your list of things what you have been done. It should be very personal within organizations with you only. If it got leaked or if someone got access to all those things, they can disrupt them. Critical, where essential for business operations. Business operations in the sense, like how, if there is any sale strategy or leads are there, if someone got, like how do they get the sales, or how do they get clients motivated, or how do they pitch to clients, if those business operation or metrics kind of things, or else the amount what all data the organizations have comes under critical. Okay, like for example, bank transaction database, production control. Okay, one second. Okay, so here organization use labels. What do organization do? So labels, in the sense, they mask. Here what do they mask the original identity of that data or the person or the organizations. Access control lists, in the sense ACLs, where we do also configure them in firewalls like Palo Alto and all, and we do also configure them in WAF, and we do, this is basically like who are the people, what they want, and who is responsible, and who should access this information. Okay, and DLP, data loss prevention, where in order to, like, there could be a backup, automated backup, or instead of like they do have resilience of the data, like if it is automatically backed up. Eh, so if there is anything they got data loss also, it should not happen. Okay, if hard disk got corrupted, there should be information right with us. And solutions like scan content, apply machine learning, where nowadays machine learning, artificial intelligence is also coming into picture, where it identifies the patterns and automatically enforces the policies. Like we do have an example of Azure Sentinel and MS Defender, where it is paid version from Microsoft, where it also have behavior anomaly, where based on the behavior it will react. Okay, as I have discussed in previous classes about IDS IPS, we do have a tool, dark trace. Okay. In security, in cyber security, basically, every tool will be enterprise level only. Okay. No outside person can know like how the tool works, because if they know, they may create, right? Only the persons working in that organizations will do have picture, like how the tool is working, what all the components tool will be having. That is the reason, that's why we do keep our data and everything very tool information. You do have only, you will only, whenever you go on online, you won't find in detailed descriptions of the tools also, because they strategy behind them is like they want they only want organizations which are involved with cybersecurity should only have the paid versions. And three states of data next. Here, vulnerability. So data exists in three fundamental states throughout its life cycle. Okay, where each state will be having challenges based on that. There could be a vulnerability which has been popped up, or it could be a breach, or it could be a single state where entire security may get harm, or it could be secured. There are mainly three pillars of this data. Okay. Data at rest, data in transit, data in use. What is data? Actually, data in rest. These all terms you may be familiar with the theoretical part, but here the words which we are using, those will be coming in our examinations. Okay. Data at rest. So here the data at rest, in the sense the data is isolated, or it is dead data, we can call it as. So it could be an example of where we store data in organizations and hard drive. It could be cloud storage, USB, backup tapes, or any medium where data is uh, stored. Okay, what are the methods we use? AES 265 encryption, access control, physical security, secure deletion processes. Whenever in an organization we do have laptops, they'll go to recycle, right? They won't, organization won't give SSDs or hard disk for refurbishment, because the data cannot be deleted, it can only be manipulated. Okay. So there will be hired machines where they connect to them, and they'll try to flash all the data storage in organizations. Data in rest, like what would be the security threat over that? It could be theft, someone can steal it, or it could be someone could have unauthorized access, and there could be also data leak from lost devices. Like if we left our pen drive at a coffee shop, what would have happened? Then someone, like if the pen drive don't possess with any uh, security pin or password, so if he plugs into his laptop, the data will, like data would leak, right? Data in transit, in the sense when we communicate, when it goes through web channel, or when eh, web channel, or we can take an example of internet also. So moving across network, where connections, internal LANs, wireless networks, or between cloud services. So how do we protect them? Like TLS, SSL protocols will be there, VPNs are there, so that no person from outside can have bad internet connection or bad security. So the data which is walking through some person trying to attack as a mad in the middle or capturing each and every data. So that's the reason we use VPN. Network segmentation in the sense like we have already discussed, where we will isolate or make micro segmentations or keep the batches of the network. Interception, man in the middle, packet sniffing. This will do with Wireshark. Okay, packet sniffing in a sense, the packets are nothing but the information which is going from our host or from another person host via internet, where each thing will get into small amount of data. If you use Wireshark, data will be captured over here, like on which website he is going, how he is searching, and all, each and everything. We can also stop and we can edit the data, we can manipulate the data. Data in use, actively processed in RAM, CPU, or cache memory will be there. Applications during computational and decision making also. Okay, where protection methods like OS level permissions. OS level permission in the sense operating systems, where we do have admin privileges, like can we install any application in our what we call, in our laptop or in our host or in our server. Secure code practice, memory encryption, process isolation, where memory dumps, side channel attacks, privilege escalations. Okay, an example would be like when you edit a document in Microsoft, the data in use, okay, in your computer's memory, when you click and save it, it transitions to data at rest. Means it will save in your hard disk or on your hard drive. If you email it, it becomes data in transit. Means you are sending here, it is there at your host. In this step, you are sending to someone, okay, and in next set, it would be here data would be in use. It could be in a cycle, right? So data in rest, data in transition, data in use. It will be like this. So it will be in cycling form, where data in use will be a processed data or the data which you are utilizing. Data in transit in the sense you are this is like the process of sending from one person to another person. Data at rest in the sense it settles in your hard drive. Okay, these all things, these theory kind of thing will help you to understand like how an attack would happen at real time, where data sovereignty and geolocations. Here, where data will be possessed on geolocations in the sense based on the government data policies will be different. Okay, so uh, where you physically store, like if you do use Google Cloud, Google may have multiple data storage accounts or data surveillance data centers in different uh, countries. So each country will have separate laws. So that organization should follow each country's laws, so that there will be data integrity between the organization and the different country peoples. So here, organization must carefully store and process the sensitive data in sensitive data, so that there should be contractual commitments and regulatory requirements, legal obligations, and jurisdictions that align with all these things. So there is an example where Indian user banking data must remain within India only. Okay, due to RBI. So this is a government organization where it possesses law for banks. Okay, it is a government organization where it will possess the data of banking from India should remain in India only. It should not go to the China, or if there is any other bank also, if there is HDFC, which is not Indian bank, it should also follow the RBI guidelines, or else they can't do business. Okay, it should follow the certain rules which will possess with governments. Similarly, exist in China, Russia, and European Union. Based on the country, law will be different, and those organizations should accomplish those countries' laws as well as the policies, security policies. This will also come into security. The person who will do all these things, he will be in auditing in security company only. Okay, or government surveillance law vary by country by country. Cross border data transfer required legal frameworks in the sense, the softwares or the tools or the coding language which they are using, there should be some legal requirements or the policies which should not transfer excess amount of data which is not required for that company or that country or that person. Okay, cloud providers must offer regional specified storage. Here this example will come. See, we do use drive, Google Drive, we do use Outlook, we use cloud storages, right? Companies should keep, like, if people from India should have the data center, Indian data center they should have. People from China, they should have their own data center. Indian people should not have the data center of China. Okay, this will conflicts. That's the reason there are policies where based on region only they should specify the storage accounts. And there will be also penalties if those companies or organization violate these laws. Okay, geolocation consideration. Physical locations of servers and data center impact multiple aspects of security and operations beyond compliances. Where, see, in every organization you will have set of teams like security operations, what we call SecOps. We do have compliance team which will also work for cybersecurity. Also, it is also a cybersecurity domain, ASR, and we do also have platform engineering. Okay, every domain in cybersecurity need to work on all these laws. This will taken care by compliance people. So whether the data is correctly processed or not, they'll be having security checks also, and the tools which we use as SecOps person, whether it is a data EDR or SIEM or any other tool. So here, why geolocation consideration should be taken? One is latency or performance, data residency, disaster recovery, or political risk. So I'll explain you with a scenario. Latency in the sense, like if you are sitting in America, or so, if the data center is in America only, then it is easy to access the data and there won't be any kind of lag or latency to access it. Okay. But if you are in America and the data center is or the website is hosted in India, then what will happen? It should travel through sea route, all the wires and all, then it should reach it. So there could be a data latency. Okay. In order to overcome this, the law is there that every country should have its own data center. Okay. Data residency where compliance and local data laws regulations. Here the organization, country, different the organization, different will be the law. Country, if the country is different, there will be separate country will be having different laws. Okay. Disaster recovery, like if there is any earthquake of or if there are any floods, so it should also be taken care by those policies. Like if there is an tsunami in south side of India, if the data storage or data centers all in China, sorry, in Chennai, then what would have happened? Like all the floods will corrupt the data centers, right? So there should be another data center which should be backup for that, or it should be in a place which is safest where there would be no natural disasters. Okay, political risk. Political risk in the sense if there is any differences between two countries, if it is A country and it is a B country, what would have happened? There would be having political differences. Then if A country is having B data servers or if B company is having A data servers, then they'll misuse their data to in their profits and to harm other country. That's the reason these all laws will be coming into picture so that only the country or the specified person should be accessing. So example like I have already explained, but we'll look into it. AWS, Azure and Google Cloud operates multiple geo regions worldwide. That's the reason these companies are ahead where they are providing many facilities so that based on the country you can choose your data center, data center location, and which will meet their compliances and performance and risk management. And how do we secure data? We'll use encryption, we'll use hashing, and these things will be encoding the data which is in plain form. Okay, there will be backend algorithms which will be running over our code and there would be solves which will be adding so that not even a hacker who intercept your traffic will get into your data or will be able to access your data. Okay, hashing in what will be having happening in hashing? Hashing is a new alpha numerical format where it will be defining that it is an original. For example, if you want to test gold, whether it is original or fake, what we'll do? We'll keep that gold into an acid, right? It won't do anything because purest form of gold will not react with acid. Same example is there, like if we take the hash and if we dump into any VirusTotal, any open source website, it should reveal the original form of that file. Means it should reveal the name of that file because it will be stored at Intel will be stored over shared with different websites or vendors so that it is genuine. to maintain the genuinity of the software or the file. So here comes encryption. How do we encrypt? Like how tools will encrypt? There is an symmetric and asymmetric algorithms where symmetric will be using same key for decryption. Okay, and asymmetric will be using public key encrypts where private decrypts also enables. Okay, so use case would be a HTTP website uses asymmetric encryption to establish secure connection. When switch to symmetric, what will happen? The data will be faster, data transfer will be there. Okay, here encryption, as we discussed, encryption will come under confidentiality. Okay, so that the data should be confidential. Here integrity in the sense the availability, or it should not be tampered. Like if we do have any file, so that we, what would have happened if it got tampered, or if there are any changes had been made, it will be seen in audit logs. Okay, common application would be password storage, file integrity, digital signature. I have already showed all these things in VirusTotal. Okay, where we'll paste and hash. Based on that hash, we'll be seeing what all the details of that file, what is, whether it is digitally signed or whether it is a certified mm, application or not. Okay, so an example, like when you log on into a system, it hashes you are entered, means it will save that you have entered where password and compare the result to the stored hash. So password will be also running with an hashing algorithm where it will be stored, so that it will match the password which you given and which you configured. So if they both match, that's the reason you will get into the computer, right? So here comes tokenization, where 1 second. Okay. Is my screen visible? This one. Advanced data protection techniques. So, okay then. Here, like, what are the data protection techniques, or how do we protect our data? For example, data masking. What we do here, there is an example of credit card. Okay, or else if there is an example, what we can take, abc at the rate gmail.com. Okay, here, like if I want to get any information regarding any email, or if I want to mask my email, what I'll do, I'll manipulate the data. I'll make it as xyz at the rate gmail.com, and I'll search for this email. So there could be an example like if this email sent me an message, I will not send the actual email. I'll type this one and I'll write in chat GPT or anything, so that the original email should be hidden from anyone. Like if there is any attack on chat gpt also, the data center could leak the data, right? In order to prevent or preserve the format, we'll do data masking. Data masking is nothing but we mm, we are manipulating the data for our use so that it should not be harmful. Okay. What would be the benefit? Data, maintaining data utility while preventing exposure, realistic test. So even though, like, if I want to use any Gmail ID, I won't be typing in front of you, right? That is where I'll take somewhat spelling. I would change the spelling, or I would try to hide that like this. Okay. Tokenizations. What tokenization will be coming? Where they will be, as we discuss, where payment process tokenizations means whenever you the good example would be whenever you log in into any bank account, you will get into a web page, your login ID, password you'll enter, then you'll get all the details of your account. Then a token would be maintained over a website. Like if you refresh it, right, the token will also get refreshed. That's the reason the website won't be logged on anymore. Okay. There are two things. If it is YouTube, you want that your login should be maintained over here. So here the tokenization policy would be, even though a person refresh, it should not go. Okay. But here when it is a bank thing, the tokens are very important, where it will be running backend of the website. So it should also refresh when the person is refreshing, because if a hacker got this token, he will misuse it, right? Okay. See, that is what I mentioned here. Stolen tokens are useless without the access to the vault. Here, if here the login and password is there, right? If there in that code there will be exploit or vulnerabilities from where they can also take the keys, which are very critical, which are very private. Okay. And obfuscation, what does obfuscation means? Like making code or data deliberating or difficult to understand. Where I'll give you an example. A hacker is there. He downloaded a file as genuine file, PowerShell. What we do, everyone will have. Okay. Or else it could be any disk. So what he'll do, he will rename the actual AnyDesk file to a genuine file name, which is PowerShell. Okay. Then he'll download that file via backend. Ah, because the file name is changed, there would be nothing suspicious, right? Okay. This is a hacker's example. But we as a person, what we'll be doing, cybersecurity people will be observing all the patterns or the name change or rename conflicts, where we'll use these things while investigation, whether there are any audit logs, whether there is any change, whether there are any things which were misused. Okay. Example, a JavaScript code where which remains some strings, or which will also have some versions will be there. Okay. After this slide I'll stop, and we will have some practical session, like how we'll be finding these things. Okay. How we'll gather information, basically. Segmentation and permission restrictions. Segmentation means dividing into small parts or small storage or small organizations or small teams. Permission restrictions in the sense as the person who should have the least privileges or the highest privileges based on their role. Okay, so network segmentations would be physically separated, virtually separated, micro segmentations will be there, zero trust would be there. Okay, here permission restrictions in the sense we'll be having role based, attribute based, mandatory based, description based. So here role based in the sense like as higher the role, higher the permissions. Attributes in the sense like based on the if you want a login right now, so you will get for your work. After that, it will be logged out. Mandatory means the account password is required for you. That is mandatory because those will be applied over there. Or we can also make it as like that Mac. 1 second. If there is a MAC address will be there for every device, that is CEO. So it will be connected to another 192.168.10.20. It would be his personal IP that should only connect with this, because for this IP they gave many permissions so that he can access from here or there, from there or here. Okay. So see what would be the example here. Here we'll get into this. Sorry. There is an issue. Okay. So guest Wi-Fi cannot access internal corporate servers. Okay. Development environment should be separate from production, where UAT and prod will be different. Okay. Real-time example of access control would be HR staff can access payroll data, but not secured one, or else they could be a 1 second. Hmm. And the based on the data, these laws will be implicated so that segmentation should be there, permission should be there. Okay, segmentation limit means it will physically make the diameter, or it will physically shorten the access, where and permissions will be limited. That's the reason both together will be, if they are applied together, the security posture will be good. So we'll be installing. Okay. And extensions I will be installing. Here, this one. We'll add it. See, we'll take any website. Uh, we'll try to take. Hmm. We'll take this website, wikipedia.org. Then we'll click on this extension. Okay. Let it load. When we click on this application, we'll find here versions will also be there. Like we do have a paid version of this. Organizations, basically when you get into security organization, this these they'll buy this for premium, they'll buy, and so that there will be some versions will be there here. So we can take this version, we can copy it, we'll go to exploit database, or we'll go directly, we'll paste. One second. Let me Apache server traffic 9.2.11. 9.2.11. 9.2.11 vulnerabilities. Okay, so whenever there is any vulnerability, they'll check from here. We'll list the vulnerability. Okay, and to provide quick. See here, we'll get some scripts from GitHub. So access control list configured in IP allow config.config and remap.config. So if they do have any Apache server, if we are testing for any organization, there will be tools, right? For that, from here we'll be getting details. Like basically here we'll be gathering information from these extensions, and then we will be correlating with GitHub, and we do some Google search also. And this website will have all the exploit database. Okay, so web local like you name, you'll have vulnerabilities and exploit for that application. Okay. Now I'll show you one IP scanner in my Windows. Windows VM. One second, let me share it. Is this visible, this Windows screen?
Yes, bro, it is visible.
Okay. I'll also show you the steps to install this one. You can also install, but in organizations we'll use this for to know like whether which IP is associated. So like if I have I need only 50 IP range of IPs. Like if any we there is a use case where 60 IPs are divided. So then a person from IT will be running that scan so that he'll be getting how many IPs are there. Let me show you. As it is a VM, it may take some time. Okay. Okay, I'll
It is a vaporizer for
yes.
Firefox.
Yes, yes. So
Okay.
using that extension, what you'll get, you will know the versions of the web applications which you want to target. Okay. If you are
Mm-hmm.
targeting any web application, so then what you will do first, you will look for whether there are any loopholes in that web application. So how you will gather that information from these open source tools like
Okay.
Vaplizer or there are many, but these have good features compared to them. Okay.
Okay. So if
Yeah,
we have
base.
any vulnerability in the website, so it will show that.
Uh, then what
Even if it
we'll
show
do?
the open ports as well.
No, no, no.
Mm-hmm.
Open ports will be shown by an SS scanner, which is dedicated
Yes.
scanner, or
Mm-hmm.
we'll do Nmap scan.
Okay.
Oh, in
Firefox will
Rico,
work good with Kali or Chrome.
Firefox will no, Firefox will run good with
Well,
Kali.
with Kali. Mm-hmm.
Yes, yes, yes. Array, one second. So I'll show you how you can access this one. Download Angry IP scanner. Okay, so let it load. For reconnaissance, hello.
Yes,
Am I
Raman,
audible?
listen.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
you're audible. Yes.
So when one second, let me like is this also visible like whatever I am writing right now?
Yes, it is visible.
This one right over the right side. Okay. So in Nmap, here what we'll do, we'll scan and we'll get port details. Okay, this will come under reconnaissance. Port details, or whether the port is open. These all questions only they'll ask you in interview. Open, or whether it is closed, whether it is active. When you do an SS scan, what will you will find? You'll also find port, you will find host, you will find application with the versions, and the vulnerability, like older version you will find, like which needs to have updated within organizations, or which is um, having some exploits. Okay, so let's download this one once. Angry IP scanner. So let us scroll it. This one we can use. Go to this website. To run this application, we need to have Java within our host device or within our VM. Okay, so we'll scroll it, or we can directly download it from here. So what I'll be doing, I'll download this standalone executable with is OpenJDK. I'll click on it. I'll write open in new tab, and I'll also open this in new tab. See, I'll be downloading that IP scanner and also this JDK file, which is like we can download any version, but if it is stabled one, it will be good. Close it. I have already downloaded it.
So we need to download Java before downloading the IP
Yes, yes,
scanner.
yes, yes,
Okay,
yes.
in Windows.
In Windows. Meanwhile, you can also share your screen. Okay, I'll delete this also. 1 second. Because I am running this in VM, right? It sometimes what happens, it will struck. It will have some latency also. Okay, let me delete it. So this one you need to open it. You just need to have all the default settings, whatever required. Okay, then I'll click on next. See, I do have installed that one. That's the reason it is showing whether you want any repair or you want to remove that version. So I'll click on repair. Okay, so it will again reinstall that version. Okay, whenever you install any application in your Windows, what happens? You need to reboot or you need to restart them. I'll click on OK. Sometimes you need to restart your host machine also. Sometimes what happens, you should restart that application so that the updates will take.
Which Java version I need to download, Raman bhai?
Java JDK 25. Like in that link only, you'll be finding that one.
Okay, Java download Windows 10.
No, no, no. You should not type that one. Like here from Lebrica, there is a Java JDK file which is essential for this application only.
Okay,
When you click
okay,
on this
just
IP scanner, right? Angry IP scanner. When you
mm-hmm.
click on downloads, so here you will find this one. See, standalone executable requires a
Acha.
separate. This one. This JDK
Oh,
you
okay,
need to
okay.
install. Yeah.
Just
That
a
Java
second.
is different where we use that for coding and deployment purposes.
What's it? Okay.
Uh,
So IP,
the-
angry IP scanner. I just need to type.
yes. Angry IP scanner. What happens, when you use this application, it will just discover what all the IP is working on your network. Because like which are active, which are dead, like from where the signal is coming, you will just see the visuals of your whole network.
Mm-hmm.
Where in
Okay.
nmap scan, what happens, we'll find the text based data. Here we'll find visual data.
Mm-hmm. So we need to install Java before installing angry IP scanner.
Yeah, yes,
Okay.
yes, yes.
Just downloading it.
These downloads will take time actually.
Too much
Meanwhile,
downloaded.
it's also taking, I prepared it. Okay, see, completed. Now I'll open my application. IP.
Can it keep on installing in my Windows?
Mhm. It will take time actually.
No, I mean it was finished already and then it gave me the same option to install again. I don't know why. I did it two, three times.
I think what happened, when you are clicking, you clicked, I think, twice or thrice on that application. That's the reason it is showing
Okay,
the.
so did it installed? I think it installed. Okay.
Okay. So see, like the interface of that desktop. This is my host name, and this from what all the ranges. Let me check. I'll click this. See, when I clicked, I typed this command, what happened? I found the IP of my host. Okay, this
Okay.
is my host, and this is a subnet mask.
Subnet mask,
This is a
default gateway.
default gateway. Okay, so now what I'll do, I'll start. I'm taking this IP range from 10.2.0 to 10.2.225. These all IPs, and it will scan the subnet net mask also, and this is my host. Okay,
Okay.
let's cross check it. 10.2.15, right? Now I'll start this. So it will scan each and every IP. See, here at 10.2.1 it didn't found any host. Okay, and 10.2.2 there is another machine which is running on my network. Okay, 10.2.3 it is also running. See, 10.2.15, this is my host uh, machine, which is this one only, and it is active. Okay, so see, it gave a report also. Total it took this many, this much time, which is 39.2 seconds, and this is the IP range, and hosts were scanned this many, and hosts are alive, three are alive. So on my network, internal network, where I do have three hosts which are alive. Okay, that means there could be another laptop, or there could be a PC in my home, and this is my host. This is what overall information we'll get from this angry IP scanner. But here we have only two, three devices, right? But in an organization, what will happen? There would be hundreds or thousands of devices will be there. So in order to scan all those, in order to get information of all those hosts, we use this small application.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yes.
and there are many advanced tools also for that, but it's kind of a replica for that only. See, it scanned up to all those things. Whenever there is a connection it found, it will give us the blue. It won't give us name. And so when what would be
I'll
the
just
output?
okay,
You
okay.
can also you can also scan where you will find different IP of your Windows host.
Okay. So go to command prompt of the
Huh, ipconfig, then you will find your, so you will get an idea in which range your laptop is there. So from that you can click on that IP range. You can select from this range to that range, and you can it will automatically take some time, but if you want to customize that scan, you can also customize it.
okay. So in IP range, we need to type our IPv4.
You can type IPv4 only, because IPv6 v6 is different, which we are not using right now. It
And
is
to which
available for
IP range?
10.2, 10.2.02,
Let me just
10.2
share my
dot.
screen in 1 second.
Huh, it would be great.
Yeah. So this is my previous 192.168.220.129.
Yes,
To which IP?
you can you can keep it as like 192.160 dot 160 192.0.0.
Dot zero.
No,
Dot
no,
one twenty
from
nine.
no, no, from starting one it
Okay.
should be 192 dot.
168.0 dot
It could be like you can also keep it like 160 dot 220, right? Yours is
1
220.
second.
Uh-huh.
This is the
Yes, yes, yes.
168.220.129.
168. Type over there. 192.168.0.0.
0.0. Okay, wildness,
Uh,
wild net mask.
uh, 2.
Dot 160.
192.168 dot 220 dot 0 dot sorry 220 dot
0.1.
0. No, 225.
0.0.
No, 220 dot 225.
225. Okay, one. It's a
And there it should be
subnet.
168 dot no. There it will not, it is not required. Here you should type like 120 192 dot 160 there from 220 dot 0 220 dot 0.
Okay. So why
Okay.
we are
Uh,
not using this? 1 second. So we are not using the exact IPv4
because
and
exact
using.
IP we already know right now, because we are
Acha.
using that host only. But the concept behind this is like we want to scan that whole network, whether there are any other devices alive on my network, because we know that this is my IP. It will automatically detect and it will show that only to us, right? Here we are gathering
Okay.
information what all other IPs are active on my network.
Okay.
Yes.
So we have to write. Acha. I'll get this.
Uh,
So click start.
you can start that one. Start. See, it will scan all your network. See, there are 4 hosts alive from that IP to that IP, and one could be your gateway, which is 220.1, and
Mhm.
220.2 is your Windows VM, and like once one once go to that statistics and click minimize that one. You can scroll it. Say go up.
The blue ones are alive. Okay.
Yes. Blue ones are alive. That could be your another device which is connected to same Wi-Fi, or it could be your VM. Okay.
Okay. 162.20.128. And this is the VM.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And
So that's how.
128. That's how we'll check whether there is any IP or whether there is any host is in use.